My video for May the 15th, 2018 is entitled, Death May Not Be Real. I know people personally who have given up on life and would like to die. The world that we live in is certainly rife with problems that seem insoluble. So I do understand why some may cry out, "Stop the world, I want to get off." Yet I have people give personal testimony. I have heard people give personal testimony of dying and witnessing the living working to try to revive and save them. Supposedly, bodies before and after death have been weighed, and the dead body weighs slightly less than one living just prior to death. To me, a more important question might be, is life real? Many believe it is just an illusion. In fact, they say all apparent physical reality is illusory. Atoms, we are told, are mostly empty space. Nothing there. What then is real? Is our experience of physicality just an impressive deception? Many questions come to mind for those of us who actually think about such things. As for me, I often feel frustrated by the obvious insanity of the world in which I live. I ask, where's the love? What does it all mean? Indeed, I had a brief conversation with a friend yesterday who, like many of us, is at a point of terrible frustration. And if wishes could come true, it is wished that they could simply cease to be. And I've been in that boat. I mean, sometimes I wonder, what's the meaning? What's the purpose of all this? If it's just an illusion, if we can never actually find fulfillment, what is the purpose of being punished for sins that we supposedly committed in a previous lifetime that we don't even remember committing? We have no knowledge of the previous lifetime, yet we're told we lived before and we did bad things, so we have to do penance in this lifetime for what we did in that lifetime that was bad. The whole scenario, it makes little sense to me. I mean, I had that dream or whatever it was recently, and I felt so connected in that dream. I felt like everything was going to be okay. But that moment of feeling like everything is going to be okay is very short-lived. I come back and have to face conversations with friends and knowing of situations in people's lives that I care about and realize I can't do anything to help. I have people in third world countries, Africa especially, that keep trying to get me to donate money. And I finally did donate $25 to an orphanage in Africa, but I couldn't do it through PayPal because PayPal doesn't allow you to send money to Africa. So I had to send it to someone in the United States who supposedly has the ability to send it to the orphanage in Africa. And I no sooner contributed to one orphanage than another orphanage in the same country wanted me to send money, and the one that I sent money to wants more money. And this is a vicious cycle. How do you help people? How do you lift people up when the world is so insane? When a small handful, relatively speaking, of people control 50% or more of the world's wealth, and the other 99 point something percent have to get by on less than half of what is considered the wealth of the world. And why are problems that we've had scientific resolution to, like, for example, we still use gasoline when gasoline is not needed. We still use lots of technologies that make money for the elite establishment, but they've been proven outdated a century or more ago. And yet there are people that still justify the way it is because it's the way it's supposed to be. I'm sorry. I don't buy life as the way it's supposed to be. So I fully understand why there are people that are saying, stop the world, I want to get off. I don't want to come back. I don't want to keep this cycle of living over and over again. I forgot the word, if you believe it. Reincarnation, the cycle of reincarnation. They want off that wheel. They want to end it. They don't want to deal with it. And I have felt that. I understand how frustrating it is to see the world that we live in and to see the problems that we face, and to realize that those that seem to be in charge are oblivious to the situation. In fact, their response to the situation is, we've got to get rid of a whole bunch more people. We've got to reduce the world's population down to a manageable 500 million people and get rid of 6.5 billion or more people. And so they don't allow actual cures of diseases, because disease is a money-making operation. And it also reduces the world's population without starting a war. And so they have a war with chemtrails. They have a war with poisoning our food and our water. And the whole thing is insane. So I understand why people want to get off this rat race and out of this insanity. I understand. And I have been there, felt that, and deal with it. Yet, I don't want to give up on life. I want to keep living. And I want to experience life as a reality, life as meaningful, life as bountiful. We live on a planet of bounty, and yet most people in the world suffer lack when there is no lack. Again, folks, I struggle, and I know many of you are struggling, but I'd like to encourage you to hang on. Maybe, just maybe, real change is in the works. Maybe things are happening that are going to shift everything. I know I can look back at the geological records that Earth has been destroyed before, as I've said in other videos, and it didn't make it. Maybe this time we're going to make it. Will we? I don't know the answer. But I don't want to give up either, because I've lived my whole life with a vision of a better world. And I know that can't happen without a major transformation of how things are governed. And government, again, is mind control. How do we control our thoughts and move them and ourselves in a positive direction that brings prosperity and peace to all of humanity? That's what I want. I hope you do too. Thanks for listening, and namaste.